A 12-year-old boy dialed a number scratched on a phone booth wall. He was lost, bleeding, and terrified. A biker gang president answered, "Wrong number, kid." But before he could hang up, he heard the boy crying, and something in that cry made Jax Morrison do something he hadn't done in 30 years. He cared. By dawn, 47 motorcycles were hunting for a child they'd never met. If this satisfies your heart, please like, comment, and follow. The phone rang at 12:47 a.m. Jax Morrison was not a man who answered unknown calls. He was the president of the Hells Angels Texas chapter, and unknown calls usually meant cops, rivals, or problems he didn't need. But something made him answer this one. "Who is this?" Silence, then breathing. Shaky, wet, scared. "Hello? You got the wrong number, kid. I'm hanging up. Please don't." 2 words. That's all it took. The voice was young, 12, maybe 13, and underneath the words was something Jax recognized instantly. Terror. "Please don't hang up. I don't know where I am. I don't have anyone else to call. Please." Jax sat up in bed. His wife stirred beside him. "Kid, this isn't—" "He was going to kill me." The words came out broken, shattered, like glass that had been stepped on too many times. "My stepdad, he had his belt, the one with the metal buckle. He was hitting my mum, and I tried to stop him, and he turned on me, and he just kept hitting and hitting, and I ran. And I don't know where I am, and I found this phone booth, and your number was on the wall, and I didn't know who else to call." Jax's blood went cold. He knew that story. He had lived that story. 30 years ago, in a different town, with a different monster. "What's your name, kid?" Noah Bennett." "Okay, Noah, I'm Jax. Can you tell me what you see around you?" "I don't. It's dark. There's a road, a gas station, but it's closed. The sign says Highway 287, and there's a water tower. I can see it from here. Highway 287, that was 40 miles south, middle of nowhere, Texas. Noah, are you hurt?" Silence. "Noah, he hit me pretty bad, my back and my head. There's blood, but I can't tell how much." Jax was already out of bed, pulling on clothes. "Listen to me very carefully. Stay in that phone booth. Don't move. Don't talk to anyone. I'm coming to get you." "You don't even know me." "I know enough." Jax grabbed his keys. "Stay on the line as long as you can. If the call drops, stay where you are. I will find you. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir." "Good. Now tell me about this stepdad of yours. What's his name?" Rick Dawson." Noah's voice hardened despite his fear. "He's been hurting my mom for 2 years. Nobody does anything. The cops came once, but he talked his way out of it. He always talks his way out of it." "Not this time." "What do you mean?" Jax was already out the door heading for his bike. "I mean, I'm not the cops, Noah, and I don't get talked out of anything. The call went out at 1:15 a.m. Emergency protocol. All brothers within range. Location, Highway 287, near the old Morrison gas station. By 1:30, phones were ringing across 3 counties. By 2:00, engines were starting. By 3:00, 47 Hells Angels were riding through the Texas night, converging on a single point, a phone booth where a 12-year-old boy waited for salvation. Jax rode at the front, his mind racing faster than his Harley. He hadn't told his brothers why, just said a kid needed help. That was enough. The club had a code about children. You didn't ask questions when children were involved. But Jax knew this was more than a rescue mission. This was personal. 30 years ago, he had been Noah. Different name, same story. A monster at home. A mother who couldn't protect him. Nights spent hiding, praying, bleeding. Nobody had come for him. He had survived alone, escaped alone, built himself into something hard and cold and untouchable. But Noah had called. Against all odds, in the middle of nowhere, with nothing but a scratch number and desperate hope, Noah had called, and Jax had answered. Noah hung up when the phone started making strange noises. Out of money, probably. He didn't know how payphones worked. He barely knew they still existed. The night was cold. His thin T-shirt was soaked with rain and blood. Every breath hurt. Rick had gotten him good in the ribs before Noah managed to slip away. He should be scared. He was scared. But something about that voice on the phone, Jack's, had given him something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope, which was stupid. He had dialed a random number. The man was probably some drunk who would forget the call by morning. Nobody was coming. Nobody ever came. But still, Noah pressed himself into the corner of the phone booth and waited. They found him at 4:47 a.m. The sun wasn't up yet, but the horizon was starting to lighten when 47 motorcycles rolled into the abandoned gas station like an army of chrome and thunder. Noah heard them before he saw them. The sound was like nothing he'd ever experienced. Deep, rumbling, getting louder and louder until it filled the world. Then the headlights appeared, dozens of them, cutting through the darkness, illuminating the phone booth where Noah had spent the last 4 hours trying not to die. He should have been terrified. These men looked like something out of a nightmare. Leather, tattoos, beards, scars, the kind of people his mother told him to avoid. But then the biggest one killed his engine and walked toward the phone booth. Noah? That voice, the same one from the phone. Jack's? The man crouched down, bringing himself to Noah's level. Up close, he was even more intimidating. A scar running down his cheek, eyes that had seen too much. But those eyes were soft now, gentle. "Hey, kid, told you I'd find you." Noah burst into tears. It wasn't dignified. It wasn't brave. It was the ugly crying of a child who had been holding himself together for too long and finally had permission to break. Jax didn't say anything. He just pulled Noah into his arms and held him while he sobbed. "You came," Noah gasped. "You actually came." "I said I would, but you don't even know me." "I know you enough." Jax pulled back, examining Noah's injuries with a practiced eye. "Let's get you looked at." "Doc!" A man appeared from the group, older, weathered, carrying a medical kit. Multiple contusions, possible concussion, definitely some cracked ribs. Doc's voice was clinical but kind. "We need to get him to a hospital." "No!" Noah grabbed Jax's arm. "No hospitals, they'll call CPS. CPS will call my mom. My mom will call Rick. He'll find me. Kid, please don't send me back. I can't go back. He'll kill me this time. I saw it in his eyes. He'll kill me." Jax looked at this broken child, and 30 years collapsed into nothing. "Nobody's sending you anywhere," he said. "Doc, patch him up here. We'll figure out the rest. Jax, he needs proper medical attention." "Then we get him proper medical attention somewhere Rick Dawson can't find him?" Jax stood up, addressing his brothers. "Ghost, Hammer, Spider, stay with the kid. Everyone else, we've got work to do." "What kind of work?" someone asked. Jax's expression went cold. "The kind Rick Dawson isn't going to enjoy." They found Rick at 6 a.m. He was at home, nursing a hangover, completely unaware that his life was about to change. The first sign something was wrong was the sound of motorcycles, lots of them, surrounding his house, killing their engines one by one until the silence was somehow more terrifying than the noise. Then, the knock on the door. Rick opened it with a baseball bat in hand, ready to swing. 20 Hell's Angels stood on his lawn. "Rick Dawson?" The man in front was massive, scarred, with eyes like frozen death. "Who the hell are you?" "I'm the man who got a call from your stepson last night, the one you beat until he bled, the one who ran for his life while you were too drunk to chase him." Rick's face went pale. "That little—" "Choose your next words very carefully." Jax stepped forward, because what happens in the next 5 minutes depends entirely on what comes out of your mouth. Rick was not a smart man. He was a bully, big, mean, used to people being afraid of him. He had never faced anything like this. He swung the bat. That was a mistake. 3 seconds later, he was on the ground, the bat in Jax's hands, 2 brothers pinning his arms. "Here's what's going to happen," Jax said, crouching over him. "You're going to confess to the police, to everyone, every time you hit that kid, every time you beat his mother, every single thing you've done in that house for the last 2 years. Go to hell." Jax smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. "I've been to hell, Rick. Grew up there, man, just like you put me through it." He leaned closer. "But I survived. And I made a promise to myself, if I ever had the chance to stop someone like my old man, I would take it." He stood up. You have two choices. Confess and go to prison, where you'll be protected, or refuse and we leave, and then everyone in this state knows what you did. Every biker, every ex-con, every man who's ever been where Noah is now. He let that sink in. Prison is full of men who hate child abusers, Rick, and they'll know your face, your name, your address. They'll know everything. Rick's bravado crumbled. Okay, I'll confess. Just get away from me. Smart choice. Jax turned to his brothers. Call the cops. Make sure they know we have a confession waiting. And get someone to check on the mum. She's probably hurt too. As the brothers moved to execute orders, Jax walked back to his bike. The sun was fully up now. A new day, a new beginning for Noah. And maybe, just maybe, for Jax too. Noah's mother was named Sarah. They found her hiding in the bedroom closet, arms covered in bruises, face swollen from crying. When she saw the bikers, she screamed. It took 20 minutes to calm her down, to explain that Noah was safe, that Rick was being arrested, that nobody was going to hurt her anymore. "Where's my son?" she kept asking. "Where's Noah? I need to see him, please." Hammer drove her to the gas station in a pickup truck borrowed from a neighbor. The whole way, she couldn't stop shaking. When she saw Noah sitting on the tailgate of another truck, wrapped in a blanket, Doc finishing up his bandages, she collapsed. "Baby! Oh God, baby!" Noah ran to her. They crashed together, mother and son, holding each other like the world was ending. "I'm sorry," Sarah sobbed. "I'm so sorry. I should have protected you. I should have. It's not your fault, Mom. He was hurting you too. I should have left years ago. I should have taken you and left. We're leaving now." Noah pulled back, looking at her with eyes too old for his age. "We're never going back, right?" Sarah looked at the bikers surrounding them, these terrifying men who had descended like angels in leather. "Right," she whispered. "Never again." Jax approached slowly. "Ma'am, I'm Jax Morrison. I'm the one Noah called last night." Sarah stared at him, this scarred, dangerous-looking stranger who had somehow saved her son. "Thank you. I don't know how to. You don't have to thank me. Just take care of your kid." Jax glanced at Noah. "He's brave. Braver than most adults I know. Running like that, finding help, that takes guts. He's always been brave." Sarah pulled Noah closer, even when he shouldn't have to be. Jax nodded. He understood that. Better than she knew. There's going to be fallout from this. Cops, social services, probably media once word gets out. If you need help navigating any of it, we know lawyers. Good ones. They'll make sure Rick never gets near you again. Why are you doing this? You don't know us." Jax was quiet for a moment. Then, 30 years ago, I was Noah. Different house, same monster. Nobody came for me. I had to save myself. He looked at Noah with something like recognition. "I can't change what happened to me, but I can make sure what happened to me doesn't happen to him." Sarah started crying again, but these were different tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you." Rick Dawson was arrested at 7:30 a.m. He confessed to everything, the abuse, the violence, the years of terror he had inflicted on Sarah and Noah. The cops were surprised. Confessions this complete were rare. They didn't know about the 20 bikers who had visited him before they arrived. Some things were better left unsaid. The news spread fast. A small town, a dramatic rescue, 47 bikers riding through the night to save a child. Reporters came, cameras came. Everyone wanted the story. Jax refused every interview. "This isn't about us," he told his brothers. "It's about the kid. Let him have his peace." But Noah had one request. "Can I see you again?" he asked Jax, as the police prepared to take him and Sarah to a safe house. "After everything settles down?" Jax looked at this boy who had called a random number in the dark and changed everything. "Yeah, kid, you can see me again. Promise?" Jax smiled. A real smile, not the cold one he used for enemies. "Promise." Noah climbed into the police car with his mother. As they drove away, he looked back through the rear window at the army of bikers who had appeared from nowhere to save him. He didn't understand yet what he had started, but Jax did. That phone call, Random, desperate, impossible, had cracked something open. Something Jax had kept locked away for 30 years. And for the first time, since he was 12 years old, hiding in a closet while his father raged outside, Jax Morrison felt something like hope. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe you could still save yourself by saving someone else. Maybe that's what redemption looked like, not earning it, just passing it on. Rick Dawson pleaded guilty 3 weeks later. The evidence was overwhelming. Sarah's medical records going back 2 years, Noah's injuries documented by the hospital, neighbors who finally came forward once they knew Rick couldn't retaliate. The judge gave him 12 years, no parole. When the sentence was read, Sarah cried. Noah didn't. He just sat there watching the man who had terrorized his childhood get led away in handcuffs. "How do you feel?" Sarah asked him afterward. "Empty," Noah said. "I thought I'd feel happy or relieved, but I just feel nothing." "That's normal," the victim advocate told them. "Closure doesn't come from sentences. It comes from healing, and healing takes time. Time." Noah had plenty of that now. The Hells Angels lawyers had worked miracles. Sarah got full custody, a restraining order that would last forever, and access to victim services funds that would help them start over. They moved to a new town, new house, new school for Noah. But some things couldn't be left behind. The nightmares started 2 weeks after the move. Noah would wake up screaming, convinced Rick was in the room. Sarah would hold him until he stopped shaking, whispering that it was okay, that they were safe, that the monster was gone. But the monster wasn't gone, not really. He lived in Noah's head now, and no prison could lock him away. "I think we need help," Sarah told Noah one morning. "Professional help, someone who knows how to deal with what we went through." "You mean a shrink, a therapist, someone who can help us process everything?" Noah stared at his cereal. He didn't want to talk to a stranger about his feelings, didn't want to sit in some office and explain how it felt to be beaten by someone who was supposed to protect him. But he also didn't want to keep waking up screaming. "Okay," he said, "I'll try." Dr. Amanda Chen specialized in trauma. She had an office in Austin, an hour's drive from their new house, with comfortable chairs and soft lighting and a box of tissues that never seemed to run out. Noah hated it at first. Hated the questions, the probing, the way Dr. Chen seemed to see right through every wall he tried to build. But slowly, session by session, something shifted. "Tell me about that night," Dr. Chen said during their 4th meeting. "The night you ran." Noah had told the story before, to cops, to lawyers, to his mom. But this felt different. "I was in my room, doing homework. I heard them fighting downstairs. That wasn't unusual, but this time it was worse. I heard Mom scream, really scream. So I went down." He stopped, swallowed. "Rick had her on the ground. He was hitting her with his belt, the one with the metal buckle. She was trying to cover her face, but he just kept going." "What did you do?" "I tried to stop him, grabbed his arm." "Stupid, right? I'm 12, he's 200 pounds, but I couldn't just watch." "That wasn't stupid, Noah. That was brave. He turned on me instead, started swinging. I don't remember how many times he hit me. I just remember the pain, and then I was running, out the door, down the street, into the dark." "And you found the phone booth?" "Yeah, I don't even know why I stopped there. I didn't have money for a call. But there was change in the slot. Someone must have forgotten it. And there was this number scratched into the wall. I didn't know who it belonged to. I just dialed. And Jax answered." Noah nodded. He answered, and everything changed. Dr. Chen leaned forward. "Have you seen Jack since that night?" "Once. He came to the trial. Sat in the back. Didn't say anything, just watched. Made sure Rick saw him. Made sure Rick knew he was still out there." "Would you like to see him again?" Noah thought about it. About the man who had answered a random call in the middle of the night, who had mobilized an army to save a stranger, who had looked at Noah and seen something worth fighting for. "Yeah," he said, "I would." The meeting happened on a Saturday. Jax rode up to the diner they had agreed on, alone this time. No brothers, no backup. Just a man on a motorcycle coming to see a kid who had changed his life. Noah was already inside, sitting in a booth, nervously shredding a napkin. Jax slid in across from him. Hey, kid. Hey. Silence. Awkward, uncertain silence. Your mum okay with this? Jax asked. She's outside, in the car. She wanted to make sure. Noah trailed off. That I wasn't going to kidnap you or recruit you into a gang? Something like that. Jax smiled. Smart woman, she should be careful. He flagged down the waitress, ordered coffee. So, how are you doing? Really? I don't know. Better, I think. We moved. I'm seeing a therapist. The nightmares are getting less bad. Less bad is good. Less bad becomes okay. Okay becomes normal. Takes time. How do you know? Jax was quiet for a moment, then, because I've been where you are. 30 years ago. Different man, same monster. Took me a long time to stop flinching when someone raised their hand. Longer to stop expecting the people I loved to hurt me. Does it ever go away completely? The fear, mostly. The memories, never. Jax wrapped his hands around his coffee cup. But you learn to live with them. They become part of your story, instead of the whole story. Noah absorbed this. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why did you answer that night? You didn't know me. You could have ignored it. Why did you care? Jax stared at his coffee for a long time. I almost didn't, he admitted. Unknown number, middle of the night, usually means trouble I don't need. But something made me pick up, and then I heard your voice. What about it? It was my voice. The voice I had at 12, when I used to hide in my closet and pray someone would save me. Nobody ever did. I saved myself eventually. Built walls, made myself hard, told myself I didn't need anyone. He looked up, meeting Noah's eyes. But that's a lie. Everyone needs someone. I spent 30 years pretending I didn't, and all it did was make me lonely. He paused. When you called, it was like getting a second chance. A chance to be the person I needed when I was your age. A chance to do something that actually mattered. Noah felt tears prick his eyes. He blinked them back. Thank you, he said, for answering, for coming, for everything. Thank you for calling, Jax replied. You didn't just save yourself that night, kid. You saved me too. The months passed. Noah and Jax met every few weeks, sometimes at the diner, sometimes at the clubhouse, always with Sarah's permission and usually with her watching from a distance. She had been skeptical at first. A biker gang president wasn't exactly the mentor she had envisioned for her son. But watching them together, seeing how Noah opened up around Jax in ways he didn't with anyone else, she began to understand. They had a connection she couldn't provide. The connection of survivors, of people who had been through the same hell and come out the other side. He's good for Noah, Dr. Chen told her during a parents' session. Having a male role model who understands his trauma, who validates his experiences, who shows him that survival is possible, that's invaluable. He's a criminal, Sarah said, or at least he runs with criminals. Maybe. But he's also the man who saved your son's life, who mobilized an army to rescue a stranger, who continues to show up month after month, asking nothing in return. Dr. Chen smiled. People are complicated, Sarah. The same man can be dangerous and good, flawed and heroic. What matters is what he is to Noah. What he was to Noah was something like a father. Not a replacement. Noah's biological father had died when he was 3, and Rick had never been anything but a monster. But Jax filled a role Noah hadn't known was empty. He taught Noah about motorcycles, about fixing things with your hands, about how to be strong without being cruel. He taught him about the club too. The brotherhood, the code, the loyalty that bound them together, not recruiting, just explaining, showing Noah a world where family was chosen, not born into. You ever think about joining? Jax asked once, half joking. Mom would kill me. Fair point, Jax laughed. Besides, you're too smart for this life. You should go to college. Become something, a doctor, a lawyer, something that helps people. You help people. Sometimes. But I also do things I'm not proud of, things that were necessary but not good. Jax's expression darkened. I don't want that for you. I want you to have choices I didn't have, opportunities I never got. Is that why you keep coming? To make sure I don't end up like you? I keep coming because I like you, kid. Because talking to you reminds me why I started doing this in the first place. Because seeing you heal makes me believe maybe I can too. Noah didn't know what to say to that, so he just nodded, and they kept meeting. Noah turned 13 on a Saturday in March. Sarah threw him a party. Small, just a few friends from his new school, cake and video games and normal kid stuff. He was starting to have a normal life, starting to feel like a regular teenager instead of a survivor. But the best gift came at 6 p.m. when the sound of motorcycles rumbled down the street. Not 47 this time, just 7. Jax and his closest brothers, the ones who had been there that first night. They pulled up outside the house, engines dying one by one. Neighbors stared, Noah's friends stared, even Sarah stared. Jax dismounted, carrying a wrapped package. "Happy birthday, kid." Noah ran outside, not caring who was watching. "You came." "Said I would, didn't I?" Jax handed him the package. "Go on, open it." Inside was a leather jacket. Not club colors, nothing that would mark Noah as a member, but quality leather, perfectly sized, with one small patch on the chest. A phoenix rising from flames. "That's you," Jax said. "Rising from the ashes, becoming something new." Noah put on the jacket. It fit perfectly. "I love it. There's something else." Jax reached into his pocket and pulled out a phone. "Prepaid. My number's already in it. You ever need anything at all, you call. Day or night. Same deal as before. You're giving me a phone? I'm giving you a lifeline, so you never have to dial a random number and hope for the best again." Jax smiled. "Though I'm glad you did. That random number changed my life." Sarah appeared in the doorway. She had tears in her eyes. "Would you like to come in? Have some cake?" The bikers exchanged glances. 7 Hell's Angels at a 13-year-old's birthday party. It was absurd. "Sure," Jax said. "We'd like that." Years later, Noah would look back on that birthday as the turning point. Not just the party, though that was memorable enough. Seeing his school friends' faces when 7 bikers sang Happy Birthday was something he'd never forget. But what came after? The next month, Jax started visiting more often, teaching Noah more skills, taking him on rides, short ones, always safe, always with Sarah's permission. The month after that, Noah started volunteering at a shelter for abuse victims, something Jax had suggested, something that felt right. "You've got a story," Jax told him. "A story that could help people. Not everyone has to share their trauma, but if you want to, it can make a difference." Noah did want to, so he started speaking at shelters, at schools, at community centers, about abuse, about survival, about finding help in unexpected places. He told the story of the phone booth, of the random number, of the 47 bikers who arrived at dawn. People cried, people came up afterward with their own stories. People said he gave them hope. "You're making a difference," Dr. Chen told him during one of their final sessions. "Not just surviving, thriving, using your pain to help others." "That's what Jax taught me," Noah said. He said, "You can't change what happened to you, but you can change what happens because of you." He sounds wise. He is, in his own way. Noah graduated high school at 18, top of his class, full scholarship to the University of Texas. The day he got the acceptance letter, Jax rode down for a visit. "Proud of you, kid. I couldn't have done it without you." "Bull, you did all the work. I just answered a phone call. That phone call saved my life." Jax didn't argue. He knew it was true, just like Noah's call had saved his. "What are you going to study?" he asked. "Social work. Maybe law, eventually. I want to help kids like me. Kids in bad situations who don't know where to turn." Jax smiled, a real smile, the kind that reached his eyes. "That's good. That's real good." Epilogue. 10 years later, Noah Bennett stood at a podium facing a crowd of 500. He was 22 now, a licensed social worker, an advocate for abuse survivors, a man who had taken his worst experiences and transformed them into a mission. "When I was 12 years old," he began, "I made a phone call that changed my life." The audience listened, captivated. "I was lost, bleeding, terrified. I had just escaped a monster, and I didn't know where to go. I found a phone booth, one of the last ones in existence, and I dialed a number scratched into the wall. I had no idea who would answer, no idea what would happen." He paused. "A biker gang president answered. A man the world would call dangerous. A man most people cross the street to avoid. And you know what he did? He came for me. Him and 46 of his brothers. They rode through the night to save a stranger." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. "That man taught me something important, something I've carried with me ever since." Noah looked out at the faces before him. "He taught me that heroes don't always look the way we expect. That salvation can come from the last place you'd ever think to look. That one phone call, one moment of desperate hope, can change everything." He took a breath. "If you're out there tonight and you're hurting, and you don't know who to call anyway. Dial any number. Reach out to anyone, because you never know who might answer. You never know who might become your angel." The applause was thunderous. In the back of the room, a man in a leather jacket stood watching. Older now, grayer, but still recognizable. Jax Morrison smiled. Then he turned and walked out into the night, where his motorcycle waited. His work here was done. Noah didn't need him anymore. He had become the hero he once needed. He was saving others now, just like Jax had saved him. That was the thing about redemption. You didn't earn it by being perfect. You earned it by passing it on. Jax kicked his bike to life and rode into the darkness. Somewhere out there, another phone was ringing. Another child was crying for help. And somewhere, somehow, someone would answer. The end.